Hey everybody! So this book got me into Dolly Parton music again, and they made a movie out of it. And the movie is the thing we're gonna talk about today. So the movie is called Dumplin. I don't know if you've heard it. And yes, it was a book first. So the movie is about... Actually, what it came down to for me was that, hey, you have to learn to love being yourself, and you should want to grow and, change and evolve and everything. But you also have to love yourself at the point where you're at right now in your life. So the music is mostly Dolly Parton music. A whole lot of amazing songs. Not all of her songs, because there are so many amazing songs, but a lot of her songs. And it's just a thank you to Dolly Parton. It's just a love for country music movie. It's just amazing. I mean, that is what it comes down to, right? That is what Dumplin comes down to as a movie. So, Aunt Lucy is Willowdean's aunt, and she taught Willowdean to spell her name and to like her name. Which is an important thing that she says, because I think that we should always remember that we should love our names, because they're us, and we shouldn't change our name for somebody else. I saw this amazing woman says, there are many women speaking out about this, like, hey, I'm not gonna change my name so that it'll fit you. You can learn to say my name. It's the least you can do. And there was this amazing mom. I forgot the example she gave. But she was like, if people can learn to say... I don't even remember the example she gave. But like these really complicated names, but that are well known. Except not by me at this point. But that's okay. It's really warm here. You know what? That's going to be my excuse. If I forget stuff today, it is really, really hot here. So... my brain is just fried by the heat. And that is my excuse for today. If you don't take it, that's okay. But that is my excuse for forgetting stuff. Anyway, we should love our names because they're us. We're a part of we're our names, and our names are us, and we should love our names. Because, why the heck not? So, this Aunt Lucy said amazing, amazing things. So all throughout the movie there are these amazing quotes. One of them being, the world is full of people who are going to try to tell you who you are, but that is for you to decide. You hear me? Like, hey, honey, you decide who you are. You figured it out for yourself, and then you decide. It's not up to anybody else. Please remember that. It's not up to anybody else. So Willowdean is the main character. Her best friend is Elle. Yeah, Elle, not Ellen. I got so confused at some point in the movie. I was like, do they call her Elle or Ellen? So I think it's Elle. So I'm sticking with Elle. And there's this line that they say Dolly Parton sent them in the letter. And it was, the greatest friends have nothing and everything in common, all at once. And isn't that so true? When you think of your best friends, when you think of the people you are closest to, and when you think of them and then you think of what you have in common, you see how different you are as people, and then also how it just fits, That is what the greatest friends are. You can be very, very different from each other, and you can just fit. And I love it. So they sing in the car, and singing in the car is a pleasure that every person in the world should just enjoy the living heck out of. Because singing in the car to any song, singing the lyrics wrong, singing the lyrics right, singing off tune, singing on tune, all of it. Singing in the car is always worth it. So Willowdean, the way she talks, the confidence she has, the way she knows how to handle sarcasm, the way she's witty and quick on her feet, she reminded me so much of this friend of mine. I was just like, whoa, I can just see her character in Willow Dean, the way she, her character. I could just see my friend. I was like, whoa, that is wow. Isn't it funny how you recognize the more people you meet, the more people you get to know, the more you see your friends in other people, and not your whole friend, but like parts of their character you see back in other people, and then you start to piece together what kind of person is it that I like and that I want to be around, and then you start to find pieces of the people you love and care about in other people, and you start to figure out that there are certain character traits that you kind of fall for, between brackets, when it comes to friends every single time, that just get you and that stick with you, and those are the friends that stay. So Widow Dean likes Boo, and Boo is cute. I mean, I would call him cute Boo, because he's just, they have this witty, sarcastic conversation that just goes very well, and he knows how to, keep her on their toes, and the other way around, and that's just kind of perfect. and he gives her a magic 8-ball. They go on a date. It's just, and the way he talks to her, like the things she says. Oh, by the way, their first date in the back of a pickup truck, looking at a meteor shower. I mean, that is one of the best dates, actually, one of the best first dates, because he gets her to talk about her love for Dolly Parton and her Aunt Lucy, and that, I mean, he's so cute. That's so sweet. But then he kisses her and puts a hand on her back, and she feels so uncomfortable with that she basically runs off. And it showed that being uncomfortable in your own body can hold you back from experiences in your life, and it sucks, It's too bad that stuff happens, and that we have to doubt our worth, or that we do not feel comfortable in who we are, how we look. And then when she tells that to Elle also says, like, yeah, when Tim, which is Elle's boyfriend, when he, I think it was like, touches her waist or her acne on her face, she freezes. And it was like, it sucks because nobody's perfect. So why should we? But then we freak out over these little things that, well, like Bo, Boo, like Bo says, he's like, I think you're beautiful. To hell with anyone else who's ever made you feel less than that. And he's just so, by the way, he's so straightforward with his feelings. I so appreciate that. I thought that was a wonderful quality, and I am so impressed. So for all the guys out there, saying straightforward how you feel is the right strategy. It might suck in the short term, but long term, it is a good strategy. For all the girls, please do the same thing. Please do. So yeah, the whole thing with Bo is just, I mean, it's kind of fascinating. At the end, when she goes after what she wants, Bo, and she stands there looking stunning in that red dress, and he just can't take his eyes off of her. It's just right, And then he's like, did you win? And she's like, no, I got disqualified. And then he's just like, that's my girl. And I was like, yes, exactly. You know how excited you can get for somebody getting disqualified for something? You're just like, exactly, that's right. That is exactly what needed to happen, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just cheering her on. But, it is important to know what you want, and to know that your worth doesn't depend on what you look like. It doesn't. I mean, people might think it does, but it doesn't. And And the other side of that is that no matter what you look like, you will always have these these insecurities. And people think that you don't have them or something if you look one way or the other, but you do. Everybody has them. I have never met a girl that I got close to, or a guy that I got close to, and they didn't have an insecurity about something in the way they looked. Every single person has it. And we have to learn to love it, because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. People are great. They're wonderful. But nobody's perfect. We all know it, so maybe we should just, stop acting like we should be perfect. Because we shouldn't be. Because what the heck is the fun part about being perfect? If everybody was perfect, we would all be the same. You know how boring life would be if everybody was the same? I mean, sometimes I get very tired of people being very, very different. Not in the way they look, but just in the way they agree with one thing and then disagree with another, and then there's another person agreeing with the second thing but not with the first, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? When you're in a group of 10 people, you're just like, what am I supposed to do? Everybody disagrees. But I love it. I love that everybody's so different, and that everybody's just like, nah, I'm like this. And then when people are confident, and they're just like, this is just me. And when people are kind, like Millie, oh my goodness, that girl is amazing. That girl is an example. She is so kind. I mean, kind in a way that she just laughs at people trying to make her unhappy. She just, when somebody throws something at her, like when Hannah threw something at Millie, she was just like, thank you. I was like, wait, what? She is just so sweet and so kind and always thinking the best of people. And she's just amazing. She goes after what she wants, and she also signs up for the pageant, and I really, really like her. I really like Millie. So she totally deserves to become second. I mean, she wasn't winning, sadly, but she totally deserved to be second at the pageant. And she could sing. I mean, damn. But also she was so kind and so sweet and just so full of love for everybody. That is an example that she set in that place and in the movie and in the world. And that was amazing. So, a little bit, they run, these girls from the pageant, they run in these pink outfits, and I was like, are you serious? How stereotypical do you want to make it? Why are they running in totally pink outfits? It's too much. It's just too much for me. But oh well, that's just how it goes sometimes. Some things are just too typical, I would say. And so Elle and Willowdene get in a fight because Will's like Elle learns the dance for the pageant, and then Will's like, you can't join the revolution. You're too much. You could be one of the people who wins. And then Elle's like, you can't reject people for things they can't change. Like, that is wrong, And saying that Elle wasn't built for the revolution, that was wrong from Will. That was wrong to do because everybody can join a revolution. If you want everybody to feel included, then you have to include everybody as well. You can't say that something has to change, but then only pick a part of the people to help you change it. No, then everybody should be welcome. That is the way it should be. At least in my opinion. So then Will finds the Dolly Parton night in the hideaway, and they go there, and there are all these wonderful people, all these wonderful drag queens, a night full of dollies, and just lip singing, and one of them knew Lucy, and it was so beautiful. The whole thing was just so beautiful, and and one of the woman who knew Lucy really well and who talks to Willow about it, she said, Dolly always says, I love how they quote Dolly all throughout the movie, by the way. I think that's such a beautiful thing. But she said, like, Dolly said, figure out who you are and do it on purpose. And isn't that one of the best ways to live? Figure out who you are and do it on purpose. So another thing I thought was, isn't it fascinating how life takes such strange twists and turns? Like Aunt Lucy was everything to Will and Elle, and then she passes away. But then Will finds this whole new place with people who also knew Lucy, and then they bond, and she signs up for the pageant because she wants to, like, vive la révolution, baby. Like, set up a revolution. But in the end, she joins it because it is something, even though people might think that it's shallow or something, it is something, in a way it's very beautiful because it's also about sisterhood and helping each other out and taking care of each other and doing it together. It might, it is a competition, I get it. And the one girl is very angry about the other girl because she's, I guess, scared to lose to her, which she does. She comes in third place. But it's not about winning. It's about, I guess it is partially about winning, but it is about doing it together and going through the whole thing together and getting very close with these girls. And that is what happens to Willow, right? With Millie and Hannah and Elle at the end when she returns to the little group as well. And I just think it's really funny how they set out to join for a whole different reason and turned out they joined for. And that is just the twists and turns of life that just teach you a lot, and that you don't always have it. You can't always have it the way you want it, because sometimes life needs to teach you a different lesson, and you might not expect it, but that's okay. But this is life, and life is going to teach you anyway. So there is also this amazing sentence: if you're going to do it, you're going to do it in a red pair of shoes or heels. I'm not entirely sure which one it was. But when they're at the hideaway, and these people teach them to dance and dress and do their acts, and they're so kind and so full of like love and laughter and caring, and they have so much patience for them. It's just so beautiful, and and they pull each other through, and also when this guy, I don't know his name, but when he talks about the dress he will make for Willow Dean, he describes it, and it sounds so magical. And then he is like, you gotta see it in here first, baby, like in your heart. And it's like, you gotta dream it up first, my darling, and then you gotta make it happen in life. And these girls, they pull each other through. And then Willadine is pulled, or asked to come up on stage and to talk about loyalty. So speaking up on stage is one of my biggest fears. It freaks me out every single time. But what Willow says is so beautiful. She says, loyalty means never giving up on someone, even through doubts and differences. Loyalty isn't blind love. It shouldn't be taken for granted. It is telling someone when they're wrong when no one else will, and apologizing when you're wrong because of the trust you've built over time. Loyalty is true friendship. And loyalty is what all relationships are built on. So, loyalty is one of those really important terms that people sometimes very easily, I guess, forget about, which is such a sad truth, So then Willadine and Elle make up, and then Willow Dean said, I really want to stop judging. And then Elle just looks at her like, mm-hmm. Everybody knows the face that friend makes, like, sure you do. We'll see about that. And then, I mean, it just, then, Willdine and her mom talk about Lucy, and her mom is like, Lucy was the most confident, her confidence scared me, and she made the dress that won her the pageant, and she was the one who said that in life the difference between winning and losing is in all the details. And that's when her mom also realized that she gave too much of Lucy away. And it's a sad moment, but it's also a beautiful moment, because her mom remembers how important Lucy was and how much she did for her. And I think she forgot that for a second. And sometimes we forget how good the people were to us because of certain things that happen, Or we're so busy with life that we forget certain people, whereas these people are more important than the busy things that keep us busy in life most of the time. So, yeah, don't forget the people that are important to you in life. Make the time for them, because people are everything, I mean, what you leave behind at the end of life is not what matters. What people will say about you, what matters is not how much money you made or the business you build or something. It's how you made people feel and who you were to other people and what you did for them, and they will remember that. So Lucy made everybody feel so good about themselves, so loved, so confident, and that is how she is remembered. And that is a beautiful way, that if you go, when you leave, and that is how you're remembered, that is a beautiful way to be remembered, I would say. So then, at the pageant, Millie's mom finds out, because it's in the newspaper, which is like, whoops. And then Millie is like, she stands up for herself, She says, and she does it in such a sweet way. She says, I get that you tried to protect me, but sometimes you gotta trust me. And then she says, and I just love this one, there's nothing in the rules that says big girls need not apply. And that made me so happy. And then with the swimsuit round, Elle says, because Willowdean is so nervous, Elle says to her, it's all wrong, but it's all right, like this song. And they get on stage, and then they have these two swimsuits with, on the front, and basically what it comes down to, these two swimsuits together, front and back, say every body is a swimsuit body. And that made me so happy. And then Millie walks out and she rocks that swimsuit, and she has these amazing glasses that she, that appear out of nowhere, and she's just shining. It's amazing. So Willowdean does this amazing magic act, and then she comes to her mom, and her mom is so proud of her, but she has to disqualify Willowdean because she didn't follow the rules, which Willowdean does for her, so that's also really sweet. And then Willowdean's also like, Mom, you can call me Dumplin, because it's just a word. It doesn't define her. There are so many words: disqualified, friend, Dumplin, Willowdean, and so many other words. What was it? Dancing Queen, Dolly, and the words don't define her. They're just words. She gets to define who she is. And that's not stuck to one word. That's stuck to her personality. And in the letter that Will writes to her mom, it says, love big. Lucy taught me that. And we should all love big, We should all love with our full hearts. Because yes, there is the option that people can break them, and that will hurt like hell. It does. I know it does. But isn't it so worth it? And I know that might sound like a terrible way of giving advice, but when you get your heart broken, you really loved. You took a chance on life and on love, and you really loved, and you got your heart broken. Okay, but I get it, it sucks. But you loved so much. And that love doesn't go away, you know? That love kind of stays there. And because you had that much love, you can mend your heart and with time love that much again. And it's always worth it. Because love is always worth it. Even when it hurts. And it doesn't mean go back to an unhealthy relationship. That is not what that means, just to clarify. But love, healthy, good love, family, friendship, relationships, whatever, is so worth it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Love big, my darling. And then that makes her mom cry, but she doesn't want to cry because of her makeup, so she hair dries her face. And that was really funny to me. I had never seen that happen before. That was a whole new experience. And then, and then her mom, her dress doesn't close, so Will gets the guy to get her mom another dress, and it is wow, it is a blue dress. It is a beautiful blue dress. It is beautiful. And then, the end is just kind of perfect, They all end up in the bar dancing and singing to Dolly songs. Happy. And isn't that the best way to go? And finish this movie? Singing Dolly songs and being happy? I would say so. So yeah, I hope you got from this movie. I hope you learned or were reminded of some life lessons in this movie. I hope it makes you think about loyalty, about love, and about the truth that you're good as you are. That doesn't mean you shouldn't grow, but that means that you should love yourself right at this point, right at this moment, for exactly who you are, because you are an amazing person. And then after that, or next to that, you can grow and you can become more than you are, and become an even better version of you. But don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just compare yourself to the you who you were yesterday and try to be better than that person. And just love big. And be proud of who you are. I know I am. I'm very proud of who you are.